is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Wisconsin.
Meaningful September baseball continues in Pittsburgh tonight. The Brewers 3.5 back of the Cubs, who will play in Tampa Bay tonight. And also the wild card race. The Brewers just 2 back of the Colorado Rockies. They'll be in San Francisco. It's game 2. It's coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. It is another picture-perfect night in Pittsburgh, and we welcome you to the Steel City. They're filing into PNC Park, ready for Game 2 of this series. The Brew Crew and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pennant race implications continue. Welcome to Brewers baseball tonight. Great to have you with us. It's a great night for baseball. The Brewers trying to make it back-to-back wins here. And Rock, they're going to give the ball to Chase Anderson. Anderson has been fantastic since coming back. This will be his 7th game since returning from the disabled list, and he's a guy that pitched on 3 days rest his last time.
Yeah, and tonight he's looking for his 3rd win in the last 10 days. The Brewers have relied heavily on him, a heavy workload, and he's done a very good job since coming off the DL. Look at the earned run average, just like it was before he got hurt. He missed 7 weeks, and it was like he didn't even miss any time. Outstanding work by Chase Anderson, particularly against the Pittsburgh Pirates. His last 4 starts against the Pirates, he has not lost. Look at the earned run average at 164, and I think one of the reasons for that is the off-speed stuff. These Pirates are a very good fastball hitting ball club. He doesn't rely too heavily on that curveball changeup. They're going to be big here tonight.
Well, the Pirates saw him last week. Anderson making his 3rd start of the year against Pittsburgh and hoping to make it another winning night at the ballpark. Game 2 coming your way. We've got lineups and first pitch. It's the Brewers and the Buccos next from PNC. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. By Hupy and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Swing and a miss. Good start for Suter. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. There's Braun. He gets into one, and he's watching this one fly. That is way out of here. Ryan Braun destroys one. Walker into center field. A base hit in the score VR. And that was hit sharply. Oh, it gets by. Mercer into center field. Polanco into shallow center, going to fall, a base hit. Phillips able to cut it off. Polanco's going to test his arm to throw to second. The tag is out. Brett Phillips cuts down another one. What a game it was last night. The Brewers winning 3-0. Their 11th shutout of the season. And the Brewers now winning 8 of their last 10. Meanwhile, the Pirates losing 9 of their last 10. Matter of fact, Pittsburgh has lost 11 of their last 12 games and dropping 6 in a row. The Brewers are trying to make it 7 for the Pirates here tonight. Brewers need to keep on winning. Tonight's game on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. One of the great settings in all of baseball, downtown Pittsburgh on the banks of the Allegheny River. PNC Park on a beautiful night, 80 degrees. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minute, our reporter. Tonight's game being produced by Brent Reeland, directed by Adam Bryant III. Craig Counsell got his ball club now at 80 and 70, 10 games over 500, picking up a half a game on both the Cubs, whom they trail in the division race, and the Rockies, who they trail in the wild card race. Potawatomi batting order with Thames leading off. Neil Walker, the Pittsburgh native, hit second. Then Ryan Braun. It's Shaw, Santana, and Vogt in the middle, with Arcia, Phillips, and Anderson rounding out the starting 9 that will match up against Trevor Williams of the Pirates.
Yeah, Williams, 25 years old, 6'3", 230 pounds. He has made a start against the Brewers this year. Actually, back in June at Miller Park, left in the 7th inning with a 3-1 lead. Big guy, but not a hard thrower.
First pitch up and away, and off we go from Pittsburgh. Thames in the leadoff spot here tonight. Brewers are 7-4 with Thames hitting leadoff. And Counsell continues to not only tinker with the top of his lineup, but tinkering with all of his lineup. He's starting to settle in on a lot of left-right platoons, and tonight predominantly a left-handed hitters lineup. The Brewers have 4 lefties and a switch hitter in there tonight against the right-hander. But Arcia returns to the starting lineup tonight. Santana returns as well. And the Brewers look for a little more offense. 2-1 to Thames. Outside ball 3. Eric comes in with 31 homers and 59 RBIs for the season. Hits that one hard into center field, but right at McCutchen. And the first out of the ball game is a line drive bullet by Thames. Tough break for him.
Yeah, let's check out the Menards defense for the Pirates. You got Starling Marte. He's back in the lineup. He had yesterday off. McCutchen, Polanco round out the outfield. Max Morrow gets us started third base. Josh Bell at first. Mercer and Frazier up the middle. And Elias Diaz back behind home plate. Started both games so far in this series.
Marte returns. He was diving back to a base and injured his shoulder, his left shoulder. Also had a finger injury. And he returns for the first time tonight. There's a strike to Neil Walker, the Pittsburgh native, here for the first time with the Brewers. His first game as a Brewer in Pittsburgh was last night. Walker's had great success against his old team this year. If you combine his numbers with the Mets and the Brewers, he's hit 4 homers against the Pirates in 2017. And career against the Pirates, he's a .345 hitter. 5 homers, 13 runs batted in. And last night, Rock, he delivered a big one. Got a curveball up in the zone, and he hammered it to center field to extend the Brewers' lead to 2-0.
Yeah, drove in a run with a base hit. He also scored a run in the 8th inning. And Walker swinging the bat well, and he's going to have to continue to do that. You know, these veterans on this Brewers ball club starting to lead the way. Ryan Braun swinging the bat well. Travis Shaw, Thames starting to swing it, as well as Neil Walker.
Braun homered last night. Walker chases a breaking ball this time, and down he goes on strikes. 2 outs in the inning. 2 up and 2 down for Williams.
It's basically two-seam fastball for Trevor Williams, and he's got a slider and a changeup to go with it. He will throw an occasional curveball, but he'll mix in the changeup and the slider about equal amounts. Likes the fastball, though. He likes to sink it, get ground ball outs.
25-year-old out of San Diego, Southern California. Marlins was his original team and then traded to the Pirates. Here is Braun with 2 away. Misses down low, does Williams. Ryan hit a rocket last night. One of the hardest hit balls he's had this year. Left the bat at 105 miles an hour. Hit it nearly 430 feet. Up into the facing of the second level in deep left center. And Braun starting to get it going a little bit.
Yeah, hit the ball hard all 3 times up. You know, he did walk in the first inning. He's starting to barrel up a lot better as of late.
Braun with 5 hits on the recent homestand, and then coming back last night with 2 hits, including that home run. And starting to see that pole-to-pole power by Ryan Braun against the Marlins. Went down the right field line. That was on Saturday. And then Braun had the extra base hit on Sunday, and then yesterday, no doubt about that one.
Yeah, hitting the ball to all fields, and you know it all started with that home run to right field back on the homestand. When he starts doing that, you know he's seeing the baseball pretty well.
Braun comes into play tonight just 24 RBIs away from 1,000. He is the all-time leader in home runs with 302 career homers. Very balanced with the home run power and the hit spray sheet. And Braun fouls one away. One thing he's always been able to do is drive the ball to the opposite field. Probably doing that more these days, meaning less of a pull hitter than he was in his early days, where he still has plenty of pop to go out of any ballpark to right field.
And normally these days, off speed that misses middle in, he's going to pull.
Pitch number 7 in the 3-2 count, and Braun lays off ball 4. And a base runner here for the Brewers in the first inning. That'll bring up Travis Shaw now. Shaw drove in a run yesterday, had a couple of hits. Homered on the last homestand. He and Braun went back-to-back Saturday. That was Travis's 30th home run of the year Saturday. And with the RBI last night, Shaw is 4 away from triple digits. He's sitting on 96 runs batted in this season. He's had a good run this year against the Pirates as well. He's hit 5 homers this season against Pittsburgh. And one of his longest home runs came right here at PNC Park. Hit one into the Allegheny River.
Williams is not an easy guy to elevate. I mean, he gets a lot of ground ball outs. He's only allowed 12 home runs in his 23 starts. He has worked some out of the bullpen, so this is appearance number 30 for him and his 24th start.
He's pitching tonight on 11 days rest. Has a long scoreless innings pitch streak here at this ballpark. 15 scoreless innings for Williams here in his home park. If you like to keep the track of the exit velocity, it tells you a lot. Tell you how the hitters are barreling up and how well they're hitting the ball, but it also is a good tool for pitchers as well. Williams has an average exit velocity under league average, so that tells you there's not a lot of solid contact compared to the rest of the league against this guy.
Yeah, probably using that two-seam fastball. Lefties off the end, right-handers on the handle a bit.
Average exit velocity in the mid-80s against Williams as Shaw takes a ball low. That's the one to lay off of if you can.
Hey, talking to Darnell Coles, the Brewers hitting coach before the game. Get him up in the strike zone and get him out over the plate, particularly right-handers.
Two to Shaw. Braun at first. Shift is on for Shaw. And a swing and a miss. Put that one right under his hands, and a strikeout to end the inning. Brewers failed to score in the first, and now Chase Anderson on the mound on regular rest. Brewers need a big start out of him tonight. Top of the first, couple of strikeouts for Trevor Williams. There's Clint Hurdle. He's back there somewhere. Skipper of the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is his 7th year as the Pirates manager. He's got a 4-year extension to go along with it as well. He and Neil Huntington, the general manager. Pirates having lost 6 in a row, so Hurdle shakes up his lineup a little bit tonight. Got Frazier in the leadoff spot, and some of his big bats are back in there tonight. Marte, McCutchen, and Bell. And Chase Anderson is on the mound for the Brew Crew. Second consecutive start against the Pirates. First pitch swing by Frazier. Arcia puts him away for out number 1.
Yeah, Chase having a spectacular season, 10-3. Yeah, that earned run average at 289, and you know, after coming off the disabled list, he really hasn't missed a beat. I mean, he missed 7 weeks, and you'd never know it by the way he's been able to locate his pitches. He's looking to win his 3rd game in the last 10 days. Remember, he pitched on 3 days rest his last time out against Pittsburgh. Pitched into the 6th inning. Been outstanding.
Brewers won that game 8-2. As Chase won his 10th game of the year. He went to 10-3, the record, with that victory last time out against the Pirates. Chase said he didn't have his great stuff. He told Sophia that he was just a little out of sorts. The rhythm, the tempo wasn't quite like he wanted it, but he battled through. It took him 93 pitches to go 5 1/3, but he did leave the game with the Brewers in great shape to win the game, only giving up 1 earned run against Pittsburgh last Wednesday.
And Brewers have scored 23 runs in the last 2 games started by Chase. 15-2 win at Chicago against the Cubs, and last time out 8-2.
Starling Marte down 1-2. Now you look at Chase's innings pitched here since he's come back from the DL. Only once has he gone 6 innings. He has 3 5-inning outings, and then on 2 occasions went 5 1/3. But there's a bit of a caveat to a couple of those starts, and it makes it more understandable that Chase is looking for a good long start here tonight. But you remember the Cubs game. Chase pitched so well in that game, and the Brewers had an 11-2 lead ultimately it was 14-2 and Counsell decided to take him out. But when he had made the decision to pull him early, it was 11-2, and that afforded the Brewers to bring Chase back on 3 days rest. Ground ball, little jam shot's going to fall through for a base hit. Finds a hole between first and second, and Marte with a 1-out single.
Yeah, check out the Menards defense for the Brewers here tonight. You got Braun, Phillips, Santana in the outfield. So Domingo back in right field. It was Perez last night. Shaw, Arcia, Walker, Thames, and Stephen Vogt back behind home plate. So Craig Counsell loading his lineup up again with left-handed bats.
Brett Phillips getting back-to-back starts for the Brewers. Showed off that great throwing arm. That's how the game ended, with Phillips throwing out Polanco, trying to take second base on a single. Phillips has earned his way more playing time. Also had a double in the game last night, did Phillips. Andrew McCutchen takes a ball. Three hits last night for McCutchen. He's hit 3 homers in his last 7 games. He's been one of the few bright spots here recently for the Pirates offensively. One of those home runs came against the Brewers at Miller Park last week.
Yep, opposite field home run at Miller Park. This is a big ballpark. I really wonder how many this guy would hit in a different yard.
26 on the year for McCutchen. It's always interesting to match up against the same team in back-to-back games like Anderson is doing here. His last 2 starts coming against Pittsburgh. Brewers just saw the Pirates last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, winning 2 out of 3 in that series against the Pirates. Runner goes, throw down to second, short hops in, and Marte is in there with a steal.
Well, you figure the Pirates, they have had a difficult time scoring runs. They might want to be aggressive on the bases. Stephen Vogt has had a difficult time throwing out base runners, and Marte wasted no time. Steals that one easily.
Number 17 for Marte, who spent a good portion of the year out via suspension, a PED suspension. And Anderson making sure he's not going to try to take third base. Pirates threaten here in the first. 1-out single by Marte. In scoring position for McCutchen. And a 2-0 count. After such a slow start, hard to believe McCutchen's been able to get those numbers where they are. Matter of fact, his career high for home runs is 31. He finished 3rd in the MVP voting that season. That was in 2012. He won it the next year. He's just 5 off that mark right now as Anderson deals him a strike.
Seems like he's always getting off to a bit of a slow start. I mean, April's never been a real good month for him.
His June and July this year about as good as you could do it across the board. The numbers were extraordinary for McCutchen. Slowed down in August, and now he's got it going again in September as he rips that one foul. He still has some of the quickest hands in baseball at the plate.
Yeah, you got to be careful with the fastball to him. Yeah, that slider right that time by Anderson up and in, and he hooked it foul. Nobody can throw a fastball by him if he's looking for it.
McCutchen now 30 years of age. If he does remain in Pittsburgh, and they do have an option on his contract, he'll probably be moving to left field next season. Swing and a miss. Anderson strikes him out. Comes all the way back from down 3-0 to punch him out for the 2nd out of the inning.
They got him to swing at the slider. He fouled it off. Then he went upstairs with the fastball. Normally a dangerous pitch to Andrew McCutchen right there, but he got it in far enough, tied him up a little bit. McCutchen with those quick hands comes up empty.
Did you see that look? He's looking for the hole in his bat. He thought he was right on it. But that's the new Chase Anderson. He's got a little extra giddy up on that fastball these days. And he goes to that same spot to get ahead of Josh Bell. The switch hitting first baseman was not in the starting lineup yesterday. He did get a couple of at-bats in the game yesterday. Coming in to pinch hit. Those are the splits for Josh Bell. Much better as a left-handed hitter. Most of his power coming from this side. He's a good player, though. Without Cody Bellinger doing what he's doing with the Dodgers, Bell would certainly be in the discussion for Rookie of the Year this year.
He's got 83 RBIs and got to pound him inside. He likes to get those big arms extended.
Bellinger has set a national record for home runs by a rookie. Anderson busts him inside. 2-2 the count. If you look at the rookie stats, Josh Bell leads the NL in hits as far as rookies go. Walks. He's second in homers, second in RBIs among NL rookies. And a swing and a miss. Anderson strikes him out. Nice comeback for Chase. Back-to-back Ks with a runner at second, and we're headed to the second, scoreless.
Afternoon that Aaron Wilkerson will indeed be the starter tomorrow. It'll be his first major league start after making his major league debut Friday night with a perfect ninth inning and 2 strikeouts against the Marlins. And for Wilkerson, it's been a long road to the big leagues. Certainly, he started out in independent ball in 2013, was out of baseball for nearly 2 years after his time with Cumberland University, where he underwent Tommy John surgery, signed as a free agent with the Red Sox in 2014, and acquired by the Brewers last year in the Aaron Hill trade. So for Wilkerson, it's been a long road here, and counsel said certainly it has tested his love of the game. They're looking forward to see what he can do in the starting role tomorrow after a great year with Biloxi, where he went 11-4 and a 3.16 earned run average.
Now, quite a story. Thank you, Sophia. It's going to be fun to tell his story tomorrow. Santana back in the lineup and lines one to right. Brewers have hit the ball sharply twice already in this game. Nothing to show for it yet. Santana and Thames both lining out. Now, Wilkerson is a very intriguing story, and his last start was at the AAA level. He'd been pitching all year in AA, as Sophia mentioned. Then he got elevated to the AAA level to pitch in the postseason there in Colorado Springs. And He took a no-hitter through 7 innings in the AAA playoffs in the PCL. And he looked very calm and cool and pro in his major league debut, which was getting the final 3 outs last week on the homestand. So he'll get his shot tomorrow. It will be a very short leash, I'm sure, as it always is for Craig Counsell with young pitchers, and Wilkerson will try to make the most of it.
He looked good. He looked poised. He had a couple of strikeouts in that first Marlins game back at Miller Park.
Stephen Vogt down 0-2. And a little flare foul. Vogt hanging in there. Vogt was hitless last night. He was the starter behind the plate. Manny Pena ultimately finished the game, but Vogt, part of that left-handed hitting lineup that was in the game against Jameson Tyone. No balls, 2 strikes. And Vogt fights another one off. Vogt enjoying every minute of his time with the Brewers. He is loving being back in a pennant race. Had that experience with the Oakland Athletics. He and Eric Sogard. And has fit right in with his ball club. Pretty tight-knit group down there, Rock. It's been fun to watch them this year.
It's always good to have as many veteran guys as you can have when you're trying to work a relatively young team through a pennant stretch. Vogt, Neil Walker, they've both been through the wars in the pennant races before, and always helpful for a bunch of young guys.
Vogt on the ground. The shift is on. Frazier's out there in the grass. He'll make the play for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down for Williams. And that'll bring up Orlando Arcia. Didn't start, did finish the game last night. He's back in there tonight. .271 hitter this season. Has 14 homers. One of those was an inside the park home run. Driven in 48, primarily from the 8th spot in the batting order. Tonight he's hitting 7th. Counsell has Phillips hitting 8th, giving the Brewers some left-handed pop. That's a shot back up the middle, a base hit. Arcia with a single to center field, the first Brewer hit.
Yeah, and that's what the Brewers have to do against this guy. Got to get pitches up in the strike zone. He wants you to chase down in the zone. Brewers have done that a couple of times. And Williams gave him a pitch upstairs, and he was able to hit it hard into center field.
And that'll give Phillips a shot here in the 2nd inning. Phillips had a double in his last at bat last night. He pulled one just over the bag at first base, pulled it down the right field line. Great power, great speed. He's got some holes in his swing right now, as a lot of young power hitters do. But he's the full complement, though. This guy's got a lot of tools. We've already seen that great throwing arm that is quickly developing a reputation around Major League Baseball.
He's got all that, and he can run. I mean, he's fast. He can steal bases for you, go from first to third. Really cuts down those gaps in center.
Fun-loving, high-energy type personality.
Always good for a handshake, too, when he walks by you.
Yeah, or a hug. He's a big bro hugger for sure. Just enjoying every day in the big leagues. But those who have played with him in the minor leagues say that's his personality. That's just not just because he's here in the major leagues for the first time, but he shows up ready to go every day. Every manager he's had up and down the Brewers system after being traded from the Astros raves about his work ethic and his attitude. Even when he's going bad, that's a good sign as well. Find out a lot about a player when things aren't going their way.
Well, his AAA manager this year is in the Brewers dugout. He got called up. Rick Sweet.
What a year they had at AAA this season. One of the better AAA teams in recent memory until the Brewers needed a lot of their players and started raiding the cupboard a little bit. But that's what they're there for.
They still kept winning. That's how deep the system has become.
There's Rick Sweet, AAA manager. Three and one to Phillips. Arcia at first. There he goes. He stops. Now Phillips into center field. A base hit. Arcia is going to turn and he's going to run. The ball was bobbled in right field by Polanco. And the Brewers end up with runners at the corners with back-to-back singles from the bottom of their order.
Yeah, it would have been interesting had Polanco been able to pick it up right away. Arcia looked like he was committed to go from first to third. And with 2 outs running on contact. Yeah, Polanco picks that up. He might have had to play at third base.
Polanco has a very strong throwing arm, but he misplays that one, and the Brewers have him at the corners, and a pretty decent hitting pitcher coming up in Chase Anderson. Anderson does have 3 RBIs this year.
Chase had 2 RBIs in his start against the Cubs at Wrigley.
Respectable for a pitcher to hit 156. His injury, the oblique injury, occurred while he was at the plate in Cincinnati in late June. It's the only trepidation you have about Anderson at the plate. But since he's come back, he's been hitting and he's been taking full swings. And looks like he's completely healed. He's not holding back at all. We'll see if he can find a mistake here from Trevor Williams. And down he goes. Williams strikes him out. Stuck with the breaking stuff. And the Brewers come up empty in the second, but they clear the pitcher spot. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey, all eyes are going to be on Miller Park this Thursday through Sunday as the Brewers and Cubs tip off a 4-game series with a playoff spot on the line. Great seats are still available, starting as low as $20. Reserve your spot today at Brewers.com.
Cubs announced today that Jake Arrieta will get the start for Chicago on Thursday, the first game of that series. Note the game time changes as well. 6:35 his first pitch on Friday. 12:05 and a game televised nationally by Fox on Saturday, and then back to the normal 1:10 start on Sunday. Brewers are 4 back in the loss column, 3.5 overall to the Cubs, who are in St. Petersburg, Florida tonight, a matchup with Joe Madden's old team, the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll be watching that one closely tonight. Cubs are up early, 1-0 in that one in St. Pete. A swing and a miss from Polanco. Lead man up for the Pirates here in the second inning. 0-2 on Polanco. Goes up the ladder with a fastball and a little lazy foul pop. Thames has it for out number 1. Anderson getting a lot of mileage out of that high fastball.
Yeah, he did that last time against the Pirates, if you recall. He didn't use too many changeups. I mean, the Pirates are typically a pretty good fastball hitting team, but he didn't use the changeup a whole lot. And has been powering the fastball in on the hands of these guys. He got a couple of strikeouts, one of them with a fastball. The other a curveball when he struck out Josh Bell. Interesting how Anderson sometimes changes his pattern. Just when you think you know what to expect, he's going to change it up a little bit.
Anderson's been getting ahead. 5 out of 6 first pitch strikes for Chase as he gets ahead of Jordy Mercer. Mercer hit leadoff last night. Hurdle's got Frazier back in there tonight. Normally Mercer hits 8th in the ideal Clint Hurdle lineup, but he's doing a little mixing and matching as Mercer off the end of the bat into center field, a base hit. A 1-out single. And the second hit against Chase for the Buccos tonight.
That's all a manager can do is, get different guys in different spots in the batting order to try to get some offense going. As you mentioned, they've lost 11 of 12. They haven't been swinging the bats all that well. So just try something different. Find out some combination in that lineup that's going to work.
Pirates come into play tonight 68-83 for the year. They will not have a winning season here in Pittsburgh with those 83 wins. Excuse me, the 83 losses. Disappointing year for the Pirates. They were predicted to contend. Elias Diaz, the catcher, on the first pitch, a pop up to Arcia. Out number 2.
Yeah, they got hot a while back and they were starting to creep up on the Cubs and the Brewers. St. Louis, and then the bottom fell out. And as we mentioned, they've lost 11 of 12. The only win coming at Miller Park against Milwaukee in that stretch.
Cubs were at an even 500 as late as August 11th. They were 58-58 after a win against Toronto on August 11th, and then went on a 6-game losing streak. And they're currently on a 6-game losing streak. A swing and a miss by Moroff. Pirates have only won 10 games since August 11th when they hit the 500 mark. But a rough closing stretch here for the Buccos.
And there's only 2 teams in the National League that have scored fewer runs than the Pirates.
Last time the Brewers were here in Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh swept Milwaukee. That was a 4-game series, and the man at the plate, Max Moroff, had a walk-off in one of those games. Moroff getting the start tonight at third base. David Freese on the bench. One ball, 2 strikes. 2 men are out. Got the pitcher coming up next. And Anderson tried to drop a changeup in there on Moroff. He didn't bite.
They haven't thrown too many of those.
Mercer the runner at first. And Moroff lays off another one. Full count now. It's going to send Mercer on the move. Anderson stranded a runner at second in the first inning with back-to-back strikeouts. Trying to leave a man at first here in the second inning. Full count. Mercer goes. Moroff takes a called strike 3. Anderson burns off the inside edge with a fastball. Chase with 3 punch-outs. All 3 coming with men on base for the Pirates. Perfectly located fastball. 2 in the books. No score in Pittsburgh.
It was 5 hits for him, 3 home runs. And talking to him about the adjustments he's made in terms of his pregame routine, he felt that he had been doing too much tee work. He said he was doing just too much tee front and side toss, and so he decided that he was going to make an adjustment to train quicker. So he said he's been training with more velocity, more breaking balls off of the machine, and he said all of that has sort of helped him slow things down in the game and just keep his eyes, his hands, his body in the right position at the plate. So he said it's something that he's been kind of tinkering with, and he admitted, he said, it is my first full year in the big leagues. So he says he's just kind of taking in all the data, all the information, applying it game to game. And so certainly he said there have been a lot of adjustments and a lot of up and downs throughout the year for him, but he feels like this adjustment has really paid off lately.
He's really been hitting the ball hard lately. It's amazing that Sophia can file that report with so much distraction down there.
I'd have given up.
She is a great study in concentration.
They did their best.
I would love, Sophia, if you would just yell at Orlando in Spanish right now to knock it off. That would really make me happy.
We'll save that one for later. That'll be an off-camera conversation.
It would shock him. Just because you're the starting shortstop of a Major League Baseball team doesn't mean you get to try to throw off our reporter.
I'm not sure the TV people can yell at the players.
That's true. I think if you do it in Spanish, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
But again, I mean, you know, getting through a full season in the big leagues, that takes adjustments. And you know, Eric Dames is starting to really stay back better on the breaking stuff. He's starting to lay off of it a little more early in the count, and it really hasn't affected his ability to get to the fastball, particularly the fastball in. He's got such quick hands, and it reacts so well on fastballs in. Sometimes you react a little bit too quickly, and you become vulnerable on a breaking pitch.
Well, he's been extremely verbal throughout the year. He's able to communicate the things that he's doing. A lot of guys don't like to do that. They like to keep that private, and if they're going through whatever mechanical changes, or oftentimes it's a mental thought, a swing thought, if you will, if you're from the golf world, something to get you triggered and get you going. Saw Thames in the hotel earlier today and had a giant cup of iced coffee, and he pointed to, this helps too. Coffee works.
Works for all of us.
3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Thames is down on strikes. Out number 1 here in the 3rd. That's a 4th strikeout already for Williams. One gone in the top of the 3rd. Now Neil Walker will bat. Walker with a couple of hits last night. Gives the Brewers a lot of power on that left side, and he lines one right field line. That is a foul ball. Tried to hit one off the parrot down there in right field. Brewers were having some fun with the parrot before the game today. Taking his hat off. He was kind of mixed up in the Brewers area where they stretch and get loose for the game. So that's at your own risk.
Yeah, he likes to be disruptive, doesn't he, before a game?
He's no Philly fanatic, but he's a good one. We like him.
They've got the parrot and they've got the pierogies.
Brett Phillips had the camera out. That's good. Phillips always willing to play along. I think he was mocking the Brewers getting loose there. On the ground to second base. Frazier will make the play to retire Walker. 2 gone in the inning. One thing they do so well here, even though their race is a bit of an imitation and their mascot is a bit of an imitation, their in-game entertainment is fantastic here in Pittsburgh. One of the best in the league. They do a terrific job.
They keep you entertained between innings. You're right.
Yeah, great music. They do all kind of skits with the players that are all pre-recorded.
Sometimes we frustrate our producer by not paying attention to him between
That's right.
innings. But
you're bothering our between innings.
Yeah, we're having fun watching.
I love the thing they do here with Josh Harrison. They call it Lil J Hay, and it's a puppet that looks like Josh Harrison, and he's interviewing other players. It's pretty hilarious. Ryan Braun with 2 outs and a wave and a miss. Chased a fastball away. One ball, 1 strike. And that one misses. Checks his swing. That's the crew chief over there at first base, Jerry Davis. Rob Drake over at second. Two balls and a strike to count on Braun. And that one's low. 3-1 now.
Yeah, Jerry Davis from the Fox Valley. He lives in Wisconsin. Been around a long time as Jerry Davis.
He's one of the good ones. I always enjoy chatting with Jerry Davis. Seen a lot. He's a big college basketball fan. He shows up often on the Big Ten college basketball circuit. Braun takes a breaking ball. A 3-1 slider drops in from Williams. Guess he calls that a curveball.
Kind of a cross between the two. A little slurvy breaking pitch.
Yeah, the cross between the curve and the slider. Because curleder doesn't sound so good, but slurve sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
It's all about the order in which you combine the words.
And a lot of times it's the same grip, maybe just a little bit different arm position, and you get a little different break on it.
See what he does. 3-2. They got him to chase a fastball. It's good pitching right there by Williams. Got down 3-0, set him up beautifully to strike him out. Yeah, pitchers throwing higher velocity. Strikeouts are up. Home runs are up. Maybe the laces are a little tighter, not offering as much drag. There's plenty of theories on that. And it'll be a record-setting year. One of the biggest changes in the game over the last few years is the willingness for the hitter to strike out more often, meaning there aren't as many two-strike approaches. And then the idea of the launch angle and trying to hit the ball in the air.
Well, an uppercut swing.
Anderson with a quick punch out of Williams, his mound opponent. And strikeout number 4 for Chase. One away in the third. Well, the Brewers are chasing their own record as well. The 2007 Brewers, 231 home runs. Next up for these Milwaukee Brewers would be the 1982 Brewers, the famous 82 team, Harvey's Wall Bangers. And the Brewers are 5 home runs away from that. Brewers have 12 games left in the regular season.
My guess is if they get to the 07 teams total, they're going to make the playoffs. That's a lot of home runs.
Nice.
What do you think?
That's a big call.
I mean, that's a lot of home runs. I mean, 12 games left.
Mark the tape. How about 90 wins? That gets you there.
Well, how many home runs is that to pass, what, 231?
Well, now you're asking me to A, remember, and B, do math. That's a double whammy.
Maybe not. I mean, it's only 2 home runs a game, right?
Need 20 to tie.
Yeah, they can get there.
10 games left. Let's see, 10 games, 20 homers. Two a game, Rob. 3-1 is popped up. RC is calling. And there is out number 2 as Frazier is retired.
Yeah, that and the fact they have 7 games remaining in Miller Park. that on the next homestand.
Sure.
Seemed like a lot more than that before we did all the math.
Thank goodness we have truck support. Two outs here. Starling Marte. We did have a major discovery today in our booth crew. Our statsman Gary realized today for the first time that the iPhone has a calculator on it.
Wow, really?
What a breakthrough for him.
Did you show it to him?
No, he discovered it on his own.
Yeah. Started pushing buttons.
It's like Columbus seeing land for the first time.
What prompted him to be going after a calculator?
Well, you asked him about a number. There's Gary, proudly wearing his Pirates hat. We're okay with him doing that because the alternative is not pretty. I mean his other hat. That's a bit that we've had going with Gary for how many years? We've been promising Gary a Brewers hat for 11 years of my time, maybe going back even further. I don't know. We have not delivered quite yet on that promise. Next time, Gary, we'll get you tomorrow.
You know how many times we've said that?
Puts up with all our nonsense. We love our crew here in Pittsburgh. Great guys and gals, and always enjoy a time with these folks. A lot of good restaurant recommendations. Anderson strikes out Marte, and his best inning yet. 3 up, 3 down. A couple of Ks for Chase Anderson. He's got 5 in the first 3 innings.
Yet between the Brewers and the Pirates. Time now for our unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Looking ahead to the weekend series, Brewers and Cubs at Miller Park. Jake Arrieta will reportedly return from a strained right hamstring to make the start on Thursday in that series opener. He's been out since September 4th, straining that hamstring right here in Pittsburgh. So Arrieta threw a bullpen today, and if he feels all right tomorrow, scheduled to come off the disabled list and make that start on Thursday. And for Bryce Harper, another injury update. He participated in a sim game today, ran the bases, did some fielding as well. He's been out since the middle of August with a hyperextended left knee. So Harper's still trying to get back for the playoffs for the Nationals.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Travis Shaw trying to bunt his way on. Didn't quite get enough on it with the shift on, and he's an easy out at first.
Yeah, he didn't do too much. Easy play for Diaz. He rolled that down there a lot firmer. That's an easy base hit with the shift.
That Harper workout day today, it's the second time he's taken batting practice on the field in the last 3 days, so he is getting close to coming back. It's a huge piece for the Washington Nationals, who are the only team in the National League to have clinched a division. They're the only team over 500 in their division. And the Nats on a bit of cruise control as they wind up the season. Great year. Dusty Baker. That ball's hit well. Santana down the left field line. It is hooking. It is gone. A home run. Santana goes down the left field line just inside the foul pole. And the Brewers strike first tonight. 1-0 in the fourth inning on a Santana homer.
Yeah, right down that left field line. You don't see Santana hit too many to left field. Looks like he got a breaking pitch and was able to wait back on it. There it is, a curveball that stayed in at 82, and right away you saw Williams' reaction. He knew it wasn't going to end well. Right down the line, our Powerball home run count for Domingo, number 26, giving Chase Anderson a 1-0 lead.
And down the gauntlet he goes. Literally a wall scraper. If the wall at that point is back probably 10-15 feet, it's probably going to be foul, but that's the shortest distance down that left field line with that low wall. It's only 325 down that left field line, but the wall is only 7 feet high. And Santana able to hit one out. Number 26 of the year for Domingo. Vogt bounces one to first. And a 3-1 put out for the second out.
Yeah, down the lines here in this ballpark, the only place really you don't get all of one, you're going to be able to hit it out. 325 down the left field line, 320 down the right field line. But you've got to get over that 21-foot high wall out and right.
Yeah, the distance down the right field line is shorter, but you have to hit it much higher. You probably have to hit it about 340 to actually hit it out to right field. That's the short porch in right, 21 feet high, in memory of Roberto Clemente, who wore number 21. He played right field for the Pirates, of course, and that's how they remember him in many other ways. But one of the areas fronts the Allegheny River over there at right field. That's a hard hit ball to short. Mercer gloves it, and a good strong throw to get Orlando Arcia for the final out of the inning. One shortstop to the other to end the frame. But the Brewers strike. Domingo Santana, little top spin fly ball just inside the foul pole over the wall. Home run number 26 has the Brewers on the board. From the Virgin Islands, from St. Thomas, and his hometown ravaged by the hurricane. He plays every night with that script on his hat, thinking about his home while he performs at a very high level, having a career year here in the big leagues. And his home run has the Brewers on top. Chase Anderson will pitch with a lead facing Andrew McCutchen. 1-1 the count to McCutchen. Anderson coming off his best inning. 3 up, 3 down with 2 punch outs.
Yeah, 10 of 12 first pitch strikes for Chase Anderson. It's always a good number for any pitcher. Chase pounding the strike zone, getting ahead of the count early.
Anderson coming back on regular rest this time around. 4 days rest. Pitchers are accustomed to pitching every 5th day. I love his answer though. Sophia asked him about, possibly coming back on 3 days rest, maybe in a playoff scenario. He goes, I hope I get a chance to. I mean, every pitcher worth his salt wants the opportunity to be looked at as a guy who is worth bringing back on 3 days rest. Only the best pitchers get that option. And Anderson doesn't treat it as a burden at all. He was delighted to be called upon to come back. These guys take a lot of pride in their training, especially Chase. His offseason, he worked so hard. He put on a little bit of weight, good weight though, muscle weight, built up his legs, and wanted to be able to go the distance, be able to have a full season. That oblique injury this year cost him that, so he feels like he is at his healthiest right now. McCutchen pulls one foul. That was close to the foul pole.
And to think, in spring training, Chase had to earn his way into the rotation. Wasn't guaranteed he was going to be in the starting rotation. Jimmy Nelson was pretty much in the same boat.
Yeah, only Guerra and Davies had guaranteed spots in the rotation. Guerra was the opening day starter this year. Boy, how things have changed through the course of a season. 2-2 pitch. McCutchen out in front. Little lazy pop up. And that'll be Walker to make the catch for the first down.
Good curveball right there. Yeah, got McCutchen to swing at a high fastball his first time up. Little curveball off the plate, 79 miles an hour. And McCutchen just kind of waves at it. Easy pop out to the infield.
Here's Josh Bell swinging at the first pitch. Got an off-speed pitch from Anderson. Seems to be a step ahead of the Pittsburgh hitters right now. Pirates are a struggling offense right now, averaging only about 3 runs per game in the month of September. Got shut out last night. Brewers with their 11th shutout of the season.
Another great job by the Brewers bullpen. They're racking up some pretty good appearances. That group.
4 shutout innings last night by the Brewer pen. They've got an ERA in the last 10 games under 1. 0.86 ERA, as a matter of fact, over the last 10. That's been a huge hit down there, and they've been used often.
Everybody to a man doing a pretty good job out of that bullpen.
2-2 to Bell. Little jam shot back to the mound, and Chase will flip it over to Thames, out number 2.
Craig Counsell's been doing a very good job, setting up the matchups for these guys, putting them in a position where they can be successful. Getting them in, getting them out. You can do that with 13 pitchers down in your bullpen. All the work that they have gotten in, nobody really feels as though they're overused at this point.
Same with the position players. Multiple lineups. There's a lot of managers that are at this point of the year in a pennant race that are very hesitant to change their lineup at all. It's so interesting hearing the dialogue with the Washington Nationals right now. Sophia gave you the report about Bryce Harper. The biggest discussion there is, where is Harper going to fit back in the lineup? Are they going to put him second? Are they going to shift what's been going well? They're one of the best offensive teams in the league. it is almost laughable to think what the Brewers are doing compared to the consistent lineup of teams like the Nationals and, for the most part, the Dodgers, the Cubs. They rarely change their lineup.
That's all about personnel. I mean, you have guys on those teams that have been there, done that. They've been through big league seasons before, big league pennant races before, and the Brewers just don't have those kind of guys.
Two and two to Polanco. Anderson trying to make it 8 straight after the single by Mercer in the second. 2-2 pitch, and he got him. Dropped a breaking ball right in under his hands. 3 up and 3 down. Anderson has retired 8 straight, now with 6 punch-outs. Brewers up 1-0 on a Domingo Santana solo homer in the 4th. We're headed to the 5th. They're out there rowing that boat. Late night crew action tonight. Hey, the postseason. Get ready for the excitement, the drama, the thrilling plays. It's all coming your way. 2017 Major League Baseball postseason begins October 3rd. Go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule. Brett Phillips leads off for the Brewers. Takes a ball inside. Have the American League wild card game the first Tuesday after the regular season. National League wild card game that Wednesday. That leaves Monday available for tiebreakers and whatnot. And right now the playoff picture with the Nationals securing their spot. Dodgers look like they'll have the best record. And then it's a battle between the Cubs and the Brewers in the Central. And the Brewers and the Rockies duking it out for that second spot in the wild card race. NL playoff picture brought to you by UW Whitewater Athletics. 1-2 to Phillips. 2-2 now. Phillips fouls one away. That breaking ball by Williams has been a good one tonight against his Brewer hitters, especially the left-handed hitters. Usually left-handers like it down and in, but it's just enough of a change of pace, huh, to get him off it.
He's got 2 different ones. I think 2 different breaks on it. One acting more or a little bit more like a curveball. And throwing a whole lot of change-ups, and scouting report on this guy, at least what we saw from him in Milwaukee. He will throw a change-up to lefties.
Coming inside, 2-2 pitch. Phillips swings and misses. He missed the fastball.
Yeah, that high fastball, that's the one you got to lay off.
First out of the 5th inning. Strikeout number 6 for Trevor Williams.
That borderline upstairs, only 91 miles an hour. Yeah, that pitch made effective by that curveball before.
Here's Anderson now, the Brewer pitcher. Chase struck out in the 2nd, his first at bat. 7 hits this year for Chase Anderson. He's 7 for 46 on the year with 3 RBIs. One and 2 now. Brewers have one more game here in Pittsburgh tomorrow night, and then back home to start that series with the Cubs Thursday through Sunday, a 4-gamer. Bouncing ball to third. Moroff is over there tonight, and he'll make the play for out number 2.
Hey, with October up for grabs and a little more than a week to go, the Brewers close out their 2017 home schedule with a huge 3-game set against Joey Votto and the Cincinnati Reds. That's next Tuesday, September 26th through Thursday the 28th. Reserve your spot today at Brewers.com.
Where are you on the Joey Votto for MVP?
Way down the list.
Got to be on a winning team.
I mean, he's had a terrific season.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against him. But there are guys that are having some incredible years. Arenado, Blackmon. I mean, guys like that.
Paul Goldschmidt. Feels like this could be the year for Goldschmidt. He's had a narrow miss before for MVP in his career, and might be a breakthrough year for him. Not just the prolific offensive numbers, but he steals bases, plays a Gold Glove first base as well, and the Diamondbacks look like they're going to be the top wild card team. They'll be hosting that wild card game if everything stays the same. They've got Zach Greinke lined up to pitch that game right now. Brewers would rather win the division and go right into a 5-game division series, but they would gladly take the wild card as well. Trying to catch the Rockies and then trying to catch the Cubs in that order. Rockies have a 2-game lead over the Brewers starting play tonight. They played the same amount of games.
Got to believe the division title is going to come down to that 4-game series at Miller Park. The Brewers take care of business against the Cubs. I think it's going to be very interesting down the stretch.
3-1 to count. Thames pulls one. That is a foul ball. Hits the umpire, who's standing in foul territory, but Jerry Davis showing a little dance move right there. That was pretty nifty.
Well, did the ball bounce in front of first base and then hit the umpire? That's what Craig Counsell wants to have a discussion about.
This is reviewable here, isn't it?
No,
it's got to be behind the ump. That's right.
In front of the umpire, not reviewable. He can't ask for help. He's going to ask Tony Randazzo what he saw.
Oh man, I don't know.
It looked like it hit the line, didn't it?
Sure did. Yeah, it's reviewable past the base umpire.
I guess the question is, if they say it's a fair ball, I mean, where do they place the runner?
Yeah, good point.
Umpire is in play, so it's not that if it hits the umpire, it's a dead ball. It's not.
And you got to give Jerry Davis a little break here. I mean, he's trying to avoid the shot. He's moving. Umpires like to be very still when they're looking at this. I don't think the other two umpires can really help this argument, but
I'm not sure why they're even involved.
Jerry Davis, you know what? They're coming over here to the replay.
I didn't think that was reviewable.
And Craig Counsell says, hang on a minute. I want to make sure this is not a challenge. Or else let me find out first if we're calling this a challenge.
But it's not reviewable.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm not sure what the jurisdiction would be to go look at this play. And Counsell wants to make sure it's all straight first.
And once they break up that discussion, I'm sure Clint Hurdle's going to come out. I guess it's not a challengeable play, but I think if the umpires, if the umpires decide they want to look at it, that's a different story.
See, the conspiracy theorist in me wants to say, maybe he's just going over there to say, is this a reviewable play, New York? The answer is no. By the way, was that fair or foul?
It looked like it hit the line.
I think so.
It did hit the line beyond first base.
That's the best look we have at it, though. So that, well, no, it's going to be tough to overturn. We'll see what happens here. This is going to be interesting.
Bell doesn't get a piece of it. It has already hit the line after that all happens.
Well, the official MLB reply to us on this is that it is a Brewers challenge.
Well, Craig Counsell went out and said it's, I don't know. I mean, I'm confused. I did not think you can actually challenge a play like that. It has to be a ball, fair or foul, beyond the base umpires.
Tony Randazzo over there with Jerry Davis, awaiting a ruling here.
You know, I think what it would make a lot of sense. I mean, Tony Randazzo, a home plate umpire, had to see it down the line. Apparently, he has no opinion on it. And he could have just said, yeah, it's a fair ball. Or a foul ball, for sure.
See, the official language on the reviewable play types says fair, foul ball, in parentheses, outfield, meaning
beyond the
the umpires always stand at the cut of the grass typically, so we get a little placard that we use, and from Major League Baseball, an easy reference sheet, same as the umpires, and it's also posted in the dugouts as well, and doesn't necessarily say the base umpire, but it does say outfield.
I'm going to say foul ball.
Yeah. All right, so apparently it is a challenge, and the call stands, which means the Brewers are out of challenges now. That's a very strange.
I didn't think you could even do that. I don't know.
Well, that'll give us something to look at on Brewers Live tonight. Counsell is not happy about using a challenge here. And now Thames draws the walk.
Especially with 2 outs and nobody on. I mean,
come on, walk.
It looked as though Counsell was going out to tell the umpire, look, this is not on me.
Right.
If you want to go look at it, go ahead. But
that's what my sense was.
and first of all, I didn't think it was even reviewable. Okay, apparently it is.
Well, we'll see if we can get somebody on the phone at Major League Baseball to help clear it up for us. Neil Walker at the plate here with a man on. And a strike in there. Walker is 0 for 2 tonight against Williams. And he's put that curveball right there on him a few times, and Walker's missed it every time. He's found the hole. It's got Walker thinking a little bit.
Walker just hoping that he leaves one up out over the plate. One mistake.
Oh, and 2 the count. 2 men are out. Runner at first, Thames. This time Walker doesn't bite. By the way, Rock, you hear the barking dogs?
I do. It's barking the park tonight.
There they are. An attack of the senses tonight. Hot dogs everywhere, nachos.
Be an easy night for the cleanup crew.
Well, depends, I guess.
Won't be any food anyway.
It's all about timing. 2-2 to Walker. He has been sticking with that curveball. Walker just does get a piece of that one.
Walker.
2-2. Walker again. Now Diaz wants to start over here. By the way, we got an explanation from Major League Baseball. Their explanation to us from New York was that the umpires can deem it as challengeable or not.
Yeah,
that's a first for me. Haven't heard that one, but it is the field umpires, the on location umpires, who make the determination. Obviously it's the crew chief, Jerry Davis, in this particular spot, that says, okay, I'm going to rule this challengeable. Do you want to challenge it? And obviously counsel did. So
that's what we thought. I mean, we said that the umpires maybe on their own can determine if they want to do it or not.
I've never heard that before.
No.
I mean, we've seen a lot of balls way more questionable than that one that have been between home plate and the base umpire that does not go to challenge. So
that's a new one. That's a first.
Maybe it's an amendment to the rule. In the pursuit of getting it right. 2-2 pitch. Walker in the air, right field. Polanco back at the track will make the catch. Walker hit it well, but Polanco runs it down, and the Brewers come up empty in the 5th. That is going to be something, Tom. Thanks for the update. Schwarber with the homer. Baez has the other RBI and a 2-0 lead. They had a nice little ceremony presentation for Joe Madden tonight in St. Petersburg at Tropicana Field, former Rays manager. First time the Cubs have played the Rays at Tropicana Field. And let's hope the Rays have a little offense in them tonight. Cubs have won 6 straight games. Brewers are playing really well right now and have not been able to make up any ground. Brewers 4 back in the loss column, 3.5 overall. Deep into left, Braun at the track makes a catch for the out.
Yeah, Death Valley out there, straightaway left. Get it down the line, different story.
So what it looks like coming home. The Brewers will match up against the Cubs Thursday through Sunday. Cubs announcing Jake Arrieta will get the start on Thursday. That's breaking news. He'll be coming back from a hamstring injury. Zach Davies gets the ball for the Brewers Thursday, and then the Reds are in for 3, and that'll conclude the home schedule in the regular season. Brewers will finish the year with 3 in St. Louis.
Another game time change on Thursday against the Reds. Move to a 3:10 start.
Yeah, do not trust your pocket calendars. Game times have changed for 3 of the games on the 7-game homestand. Also have some tickets available for the Cup Series. Make sure you join us at Miller Park. Pack the house. Anderson missing with a fastball. Chase facing Elias Diaz here with 1 away. Chase has retired 9 straight now. And a good sweeping curve in there for a strike.
Yeah, he's had a good one tonight. Got a lot of outs with that pitch. He's kept him down in the strike zone.
Chase with 6 punch outs of his 13 outs recorded at this point. Another curve. One and 2. Missed with a changeup. Count evens at 2-2. Pirate catcher at the plate. Diaz popped up to the shortstop his first time up. Hitting 7th in his lineup. And a shot right at Walker makes the play for out number 2.
Hey, tonight's time of the game winner, Ye Old Hotel in Lions.
Is that what, like OLDE?
Yeah.
Nice.
Or is it Ye Old Hotel in Lions? If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40. Remember, I told you I took French.
Is that French?
40 tickets to a Friday night game. Hotel is. Miller Lite beer pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
So in French, you say it without the H?
L'Hotel.
Oh, it's with an L.
The hotel.
I get
how to say old in French. So
it's like an L and apostrophe.
Move on.
What an education tonight. We've done some very remedial math and some linguistics coming from the Rock.
Some new MLB rules we didn't know about.
Making up rules as we go.
Yeah.
There's a liner into right field, a base hit for Moroff. 2-out single. And that snaps a string of 10 in a row retired by Chase. And now Clint Hurdle's going to go to his bench. So his starter, Trevor Williams, is out after 5. And it'll be John Jaso. This is Hurdle's best pinch hitter. He's going to use him in the 5th inning.
Yeah, Yeah, the only lefty on the bench for the Pirates. As we started today's game, bunch of right-handers available.
Got to be careful on that first pitch with Jaso. Always in attack mode. Those are the numbers off the bench this year. He's had 3 pinch hit homers this season. And Anderson starts him with a hook. Anderson had retired 10 in a row. Went from 1 out in the second to 2 outs in the 5th between hits. All of the hits tonight for the Pirates are singles. Chase has only given up 3. Pirate starter Trevor Williams only allowing 3 hits as well, but one of them a homer.
Yeah, he's had back-to-back pretty good starts. 1 run tonight.
It's probably a little bit of a theme here for the Pirates with their pitchers right now. Just continue in the rotation, their regular turns, but minimize the outings. Try to minimize the innings as Jaso turns on 1 foul. A lot of teams do that are not in a pennant race. You want to make sure you get those starts, try to build up that part of the ledger, but minimize the innings when you can. So you see a lot of 5 and 6 inning starts this time of year.
And especially the guys you know are going to be in your rotation the following season.
2-strike pitch. Did he go? They'll ask. Yes, he did. Roberto Ortiz rings him up, the third base umpire, and the inning is over. A strikeout for Anderson, his 7th. Ryan Braun leads off. We head to the 6th.
For the Pirates, thanks to Domingo Santana's solo home run, and the Brewers Community Foundation proudly supports nearly 200 organizations annually. These quality nonprofits help children and their families in exceptional ways in the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. Thanks for all that you do to help support BCF throughout the year.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Here we go to the Brewer half of the 6th inning. And the man from Lithuania, the first to make it to the big leagues, Lithuanian-born Davidas Nevrauskas, is on the pitch.
Yeah, 2nd time we've seen him. We saw him at Miller Park. Big guy that throws pretty hard. 19th appearance for the big right-hander and a .315 earned run average. Giving up 3 home runs, though, in 20 innings of work.
Brewers up 1-0 here in the 6th. Ryan Braun leads off. Nevrauskas pitching in middle relief for the Pirates. got to be a fascinating story, right? Went through the international scouting, kind of a combine. It's more of a skills and drills type setup where they have players, they invite players from various countries. That ball's a shot up the middle and a base hit. Ryan Braun, a single to center field, continues his hitting ways. And a lead man on in the 6th inning for the Brew Crew. Nebraska's went to Italy to participate in this tryout and ends up getting signed. He's only 24. He's come all the way up through the Pirates system, signed as a teenager, and the first Lithuanian born player to make it to the big leagues. What a story, huh?
Truly is, right? An international game these days. You got an arm like that, doesn't matter where you live, they'll find you. There's something else.
There are a number of basketball players from Lithuania that have emerged at the NBA level. Good crop of basketball players, but baseball is just now catching on to the level where the athletes are signable. There's a high fly ball by Shaw, and Polanco will settle under it. Out number 1. Shaw just missed it on the bat, got under it a touch. 1 away. That'll bring up Domingo Santana. Put the Brewers on the board in the 4th inning. It's on the Powerball home run leaderboard. He is gaining quickly on Shaw and Thames. Santana with number 26 with that solo shot in the 4th inning. Hit a top spin fly ball that just made it over the wall down the left field line, just inside the foul pole. Santana's found a new gear this year. Getting to play every day. He's currently on a 7-game hitting streak, Santana, after that homer. He was out of the lineup yesterday. A little bit had to do with the matchup, but mostly because Santana was needing a day off. He's been dealing with a tight back and a little tweak in his neck as well. Nothing major, but a maintenance day yesterday for Santana. Brewers still won the game 3-0.
Well, he's only 25 years old, Domingo Santana, and in fact last year he was out quite a bit with injuries. Shoulder, elbow, wasn't able to stay on the field enough. You know, to really find that consistency at the plate. Had a pretty good September though.
First full season in the big leagues this season, playing every day and in a prominent role in this Brewers lineup. He's hit up and down the lineup as well. He's even hit leadoff at times for the Brewers. He's hit second, hit third, hit cleanup on 6 occasions. Normally, if Counsell has it the way he wants it, he hits right here in the 5 spot in the order, right behind Shaw. Braun goes. Santana swings the throw to second, and Braun is out at second base.
Craig Counsell had the challenges.
Can't look at it.
Swings right through it from his knees. A perfect throw from Diaz. And pretty close. Probably had him, but really doesn't matter because there's no challenges left. Yep, he's out.
Yeah, good tag, Frazier. A great throw from Diaz. That's a skill in its own right, to catch the ball and avoid the tag, or avoid the sliding leg or the hand, and still be able to catch and tag quickly. A lot of guys get their glove hung up in there.
I thought you were going to talk about it's a skill to throw from your knees and throw
that is a skill too.
A rocket like that down to second base.
I figured you had the catching part of that covered.
That was a heck of a throw. Saw Maldonado do that on a number of occasions, but not too many guys can actually throw a guy out from a knee.
2-2 the count. And Santana's out on strikes. Nevrauskas works around a leadoff single, get a caught stealing in there, and his first K of the game. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer, and by Chevy, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers. Visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com today to find a dealer near you. What a beautiful setting here on the banks of the Allegheny, PNC Park, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Chase Anderson on the mound for the Brewers, and he is pitching well. He has spun a shutout through the first 5 innings. There's a liner in the left center, base hit by Frazier. Phillips over to cut it off, and a good strong throw in. That'll keep Frazier to a single.
I think the Pirates are convinced not to run on Phillips. Threw a guy out at home plate at Miller Park. Ended the game on a throw to second base yesterday.
Phillips threw out a runner to end the game last night at second base. He's cut down a Pirate at the plate. David Freese back on the homestand. Lead man on for the Buccos here in the 6th inning. That is the first time tonight they've had their leadoff batter reach. Starling Marte at the plate. Frazier looks like he wants to run. Anderson has a great move to first. He's quick to the plate. He does all the things you need to do to manage a running game. Vogt does not throw well. Does everything else well behind the plate, but throwing is not a strength, and teams will try to take advantage. Marte takes a strike.
So you stagger your delivery, you step off, you hold the baseball. You don't become predictable. Frazier with 9 stolen bases, but he's been caught 5 times.
Vogt's spot in the batting order is due to lead off in the 7th inning. And after that, you probably see Pena come in if the Brewers still have a lead. Oliver Drake getting loose just in case. I would imagine he would be up there for Bell and Polanco if it gets to that point. That throw gets by Thames, and now Frazier is on the run. Well, that's the other side of it. You spend a lot of time trying to hold runners, and an error on Anderson allows Frazier to second.
They're trying to keep him close at first base, and Anderson hadn't been throwing a lot of ground ball outs, only 2 so far tonight. So trying to keep Frazier close, maybe to get a double play, keep him at first base.
That's a short hop and an error on Anderson, but certainly a throw that Thames would tell you he should have picked. Marte shows bunt, gets it down, and that's going to go for a hit. Starling Marte with a bunt single, and now first and third with nobody out. Couldn't have rolled it out there any better.
Well, he's bunting for a base hit here, but you know, if he makes an out, at least he's able to get Frazier over to third base. Perfect bunt, disguised well. And Chase Anderson is in big trouble here in this 6th inning.
Derek Johnson on his way out, pitching coach.
I figure Marte is probably going to try and steal a base. He's already got one. He stole one in the 1st inning.
Well, the Pirates send up their best hitter with runners at the corners. McCutchen, who is 0 for 2. Anderson has had him fooled tonight. He struck him out in the 1st inning, and then he got him out ahead of a breaking ball in the 4th. A little pop-up to second base. He's a tough guy to double up. Be curious to see if McCutchen is patient at the plate and will allow Marte to try to steal a base. Anderson in danger here. Brewers have great arms in the outfield, but Frazier runs pretty well, and anything medium deep he's going to score. Brewers would gladly turn 2 and concede a run if McCutchen should hit one at an infielder.
You see Arcia really not in double play position. He's over further in the hole than normal double play depth.
McCutchen fouls it back. Had a good cut. A little cut fastball by Chase Anderson. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Once again, he really hasn't relied too heavily on the changeup. That's one of his best pitches. Back-to-back starts, we haven't seen many.
Threw one there. McCutchen doesn't bite. 2-1 now. Dangerous spot right here for Chase Anderson. Brewers lead 1-0 on a Santana homer. Biggest threat of the game for the Pirates. First time they've had a runner at third base in this game.
There's a good running count for Starling Marte, 2-1. Pirates figuring Anderson wants to throw a strike here. If he does, McCutchen might be ready to swing.
A well located fastball. Put it right where Vogt wanted it. 2-2 the count. Anderson does have the strikeout stuff. That's one element he has continued this season. He gets the swings and misses.
He got McCutchen on a high fastball his first time up.
7 strikeouts for Chase. He needs one desperately here. 2-2 the count. Runner goes, and a swing and a miss. No throw by Vogt. It's a strikeout for Anderson.
Another high fastball. Good pitch. He's got McCutchen chasing that high heater tonight.
Stolen base for Marte. Well, that's a big out right here.
Yep, up and away, waves at it, and no chance for Vogt. He just holds on to it.
We'll see how aggressive Anderson will be with Bell at the plate. He's a good hitter. Been a big run producer this year for the Pirates. 2nd and 3rd, 1 away. Bell late on the first offering, fouls it back.
Brewers have had success against this guy. Fastballs in, but you better get it in there.
Bell struck out with a runner at second base to end the first inning. Anderson got him on a little cue shot back to the mound his next time up. 0-1 pitch. Chased a high fastball, and it's 0-2 on Bell. And Anderson is set up for an out here.
They struck him out in the first inning on a curveball.
Frazier at third, Marte at second. See what Anderson does. The 0-2 fastball high, misses. I keep thinking Vogt's going to stand up like that one time and then squat back down, and it'll be a curveball. Just to see if the Pirates are flashing location. There's a breaking ball. That's in the air to center. Phillips with that great arm. He's got it. Frazier will not test it. And Phillips throws a bullet into home plate. Boy, that's another big out for Anderson.
Yeah, the Pirates have learned their lesson on Phillips. Even Frazier making no effort to even try and tag up on this. A little pop up into short center. Another curveball, and that's a nice pitch. 3 fastballs, then a curveball, and an easy pop out.
Man,
that's a hose, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, it's got like a little finishing kick to it. No gravity on that one, hardly. Strong enough to scare Frazier back to third. Now Anderson a step away from getting through this mess. Gregory Polanco at the plate. Two outs, second and third. One more piece to the puzzle here for Chase. And Polanco takes one inside. Pirates couldn't have it set up any better. 2 on, nobody out, and their best 3 hitters coming up: McCutchen, Bell, and Polanco. In there, a strike. Caught him guessing, maybe.
Yeah, cutter. Chase doing a good job tying these guys up inside.
What an arsenal he has to call on, right? 4 pitches, he'll throw any time, any count. 1-1. Another fastball fouled away.
And he's putting it exactly where Vogt wants it. He hasn't left one down in the strike zone.
Anderson now a strike away from getting out of this 6th. See what he does. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it comes, and a fastball, and Polanco laid off, but he was in swing mode, wasn't he?
Thought about it. Got him set up for the hook.
I was thinking the same thing.
See if he throws it.
2-2. Anderson deals it, and a little changeup missed away, right?
Yep.
So 3-2 the count. Tell you, it's fun watching this guy work. Vogt wants to make sure on this one.
Fun watching, and it's a lot of fun calling a game for a guy that can throw all these pitches for strikes.
It's not the worst thing if he walks Polanco, loads the bases, start a fresh count with Jordy Mercer, the next hitter. But he wants to put him away right here. Full count, 2 outs. And Polanco fouls it back.
Another one.
All right, make a call at home. What's your pitch? See if you're right.
If you're not worried too much about walking him, you go with the curveball.
Vogt will be ready to block it if so. 3-2 pitch, and it's in the air. Popped him up. Arcia is under it, and the curveball was the cure. Chase Anderson gets out of a mess. Wow, what a performance. 2 on, nobody out. Gets McCutchen, Bell, and Polanco. And Anderson is through 6. Congratulations as he walks in. He's probably done for the night. See how Counsell wants to play it here, but he had to dig down deep right there, partner. That was a big time effort by Chase Anderson.
Yeah, might have emptied the tank right there just when the Brewers needed it most. And second and third, and things were not looking very good, but you know, Chase Anderson able to grind through it once again. That curveball coming up huge.
Getting a lot of handshakes. That's one sign maybe he's done for the night. Stephen Vogt will lead off. Give him some credit too for navigating Anderson through that. Vogt, Arcia, and Phillips coming up for the Brewers in the 7th. If anybody gets on, that pitcher spot will bat in this inning.
Yeah, talk about establishing momentum when you don't have a bat in your hand. I mean, Chase Anderson just gave the Brewers a big lift. That's momentum right there. Let's see if the Brewers can get something going offensively.
Pirates have 15 scoreless innings in this series. 16 overall is their consecutive scoreless inning streak as an offense. Yesterday, the Brewers, with Suter starting and then the bullpen picking up the last 4 innings, a 3-0 shutout win, and nothing on the board tonight for the Pirates, although they've out-hit the Brewers 5-4. Vogt into center field. Long run for McCutchen, and he'll track it down for the out. Turned on the Jets to run that one down, and Vogt is retired.
Chase Anderson against Polanco, second and third and 2 outs. Now watch all the fastballs. That was a cutter right there, but really trying to establish that high fastball, getting in on his hands. And once he got to 2 strikes, it got to a 2-2 count, and he tried to throw a couple of changeups. And it turned into a full count. After this next changeup, you're going to see a curveball. He's out in front, an easy pop out. And that was a pretty good sequence. You know, first of all, it was Stephen Vogt getting to those pitches right away. And then Chase Anderson executing nicely. Did not make a mistake with the changeup. That was the key. You don't want to leave that pitch inside.
Arcia at the plate, takes the ball down and away. I thought that last curveball he threw, that wouldn't be his A curveball by any stretch, but everything else set it up.
Doesn't have to be, right? I mean, just change speeds a little bit. First time he saw a curveball in that at bat.
Terrific effort by Anderson. No. He continues to shine. Chase had emerged as the Brewers ace before he was injured, and then Nelson came on strong. And you're looking at a couple of guys that are putting together numbers ace worthy. Well, it's so unfortunate to lose Jimmy Nelson at this point of the year.
Right.
Arcia takes a strike. Nelson had surgery today on his shoulder. Check in with Sophia in a moment for more on Jimmy Nelson. Injured that shoulder running the bases in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. Arcia takes ball 4. He'll draw the walk. What do you got, Sophia? What's the latest on Jimmy Nelson?
Yeah, Jimmy Nelson having surgery this afternoon in Los Angeles with Dr. Neil Elatrosh, who is one of the top orthopedic surgeons in the country. He's operated on a number of top professional athletes, and so we'll get an update probably from Craig Counselor David Stearns tomorrow just on how the surgery went. At that point, we probably still won't know kind of a range of time. Obviously, the rehab will dictate kind of the length of time, so hoping for the best for Jimmy Nelson and his surgery today.
It's good that they got that out of the way and didn't mess around. Try to rehab it for a couple of months. That doesn't work. And then you go to surgery, and then you risk missing a large portion of next season. So get it out of the way, start the rehab, and hopefully he's going to be able to get back very quickly.
Well, a man on here with 1 out for Brett Phillips.
It is, though, sometimes a very difficult decision to make for a player. You know, having surgery is last option.
Yeah, right.
You have to be sure, and Brewers obviously were. And Jimmy got a couple of opinions, and they got it done.
Especially shoulder surgery. Still more risky to have a shoulder surgery. The return rates aren't nearly as high as the elbow surgeries, but Jimmy, you know, he'll work hard at the rehab part of it. He is a hard worker as it goes, and very disciplined player in everything he does, and I'm sure he'll give everything he's got, and we'll have to see how the comeback goes this offseason. One of the problems for Nelson is, and I'm sure the Brewers are going to want to take their time, and I wouldn't imagine they try to push him for opening day, right? Even if it's a minor surgery and things are really clean, but he pitched a lot this year, and you kind of lose an offseason when you do that, because your body needs rest, but now you have to go immediately into rehab mode. We all think of it as offseason, but it's going to be very little recovery time for Jimmy Nelson, not to mention the anxiety of your career that is in jeopardy a little bit. I mean, I don't think it's so in jeopardy as it would be 30 years ago, but Nelson's going to have a little bit of anxiety to come back to see if he was still the same pitcher that he was this past year.
You know, sometimes, you know, coming back from surgery and rehabbing from surgery is tougher work than getting to a season.
Yeah,
There's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, they don't just work on the shoulder. It's everything that they try to keep together. Wishing him well. Tough break. I doubt Jimmy will ever be sliding head first again. He might not ever slide again, period, on the base paths. No balls, 2 strikes on Brett Phillips. RC at first. And that's inside. By the way, that throw Phillips made a moment ago, with Frazier at third base. It was the fastest throw clocked this year in Major League Baseball. 104.7 miles an hour was the velocity on that throw by Phillips. He threw one yesterday or the other day against the Pirates on the homestand at 104 even.
So he still has a little bit more left. 0.7 miles an hour.
Rumor is he's got 108 in him. I want to see him on the mound. That would be fun. I mean, this kid from Japan, Otani, they're talking about him as a pitching hitting combo.
Yeah.
See what you got, Brett.
Say he can bring it up there in the hundreds.
Yes, he can. Yeah, that's going to be a big story this offseason. Who's going to sign Otani? Remember that name. One and two the count on Phillips. Singled in the second inning. Struck out his last time up. Pirates have a left-handed starter tomorrow, so Phillips will not be in the starting lineup tomorrow, but he's getting back-to-back starts here against the Pirate right-handers. He's got a couple of hits in the series and has changed the game defensively with his throwing arm. One and two the count. 2-2 now on Phillips.
I think the Brewers are convinced not to run on Diaz after that throw he made earlier today. Actually, last inning, throwing out Ryan Braun from his knees.
Way inside, almost hit him. 97 with the fastball from Nevrauskas.
He might be running here, 3-2.
Got the pitcher due up next. Pitcher spot anyway. VR looks like he's going to pinch hit. So you're not worried about that ninth spot in the order at this point. Tenth pitch of the at bat coming. And Phillips fouls it away. Boy, what a battle here. Couple of rookies going at it.
Yeah, he was down in the count 0-2 very quickly.
Pitch number 11. And Phillips turns on one foul. There is a drastic contrast in the dugouts right now. Brewers in a pennant race. They are fully engaged. Everybody up on that rail. You hear a lot of chatter from that dugout with Phillips at the plate.
Pirate dugout, everybody's sitting.
Team that's lost 6 straight games and out of a race. And there's ball 4. Wow, that's one of the best for Phillips this year. He saw 12 pitches, got down 0-2, and he ends up drawing a walk. Now it's first and second, and a chance for the Brewers to add to their lead.
Yeah, it's probably going to be it for Nevrauskas. He got through the 6th inning, got the first out in the 7th here, and then a couple of walks.
Drew Hudson will be next. No, Daniel Hudson, I beg your pardon. He'll be coming on the right-hander for Hurdle. And Nevrauskas on his way out. VR will bat for the Brewers. 1-0 Crew.
1-0, and make sure to download the MLB.com ballpark app in advance of Fan Appreciation Night presented by Chevrolet. That's coming up next Wednesday, September 27th, as a selection of this year's prizes will be given away exclusively to fans who check in to Miller Park that evening using MLB.com ballpark app. A new twist to Fan Appreciation Night this year.
It's going to be Daniel Hudson out of the Pittsburgh bullpen. Former starter with the Arizona Diamondbacks, reinventing himself as a reliever. And Hudson will pitch with 2 on behind him. VR coming in to bat. He'll pinch hit for Chase Anderson. Close the book on Chase. 6 shutout innings tonight. VR on the ground. Frazier to Mercer. That's all they'll get. And the second out of the inning. VR was up there hacking at the first pitch. Now runners at the corners. And here comes Thames. Thames batting for the 3rd time. 0 for 2 with a walk. Brewers lead 1-0. Thames trying to add to the lead. Big spot for him. Shift is on. Thames has struggled with runners in scoring position this year, especially with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. But a hot month here in September can erase all of that. Eric's been swinging the bat well. And a good cut, fouls it back. And it's 1-1.
And you wonder if Thames gets deep in this count, if VR might try and take off. Brewers might think about stealing a run.
VR led the National League in steals last season. If he's not running, you can guarantee he's been given the red light, because he is always looking to steal a base. He's got a big lead. There he goes. He stops, and the pitch is inside.
And you wonder if they're just going to give it to him.
He must not have liked his jump right there. He started, looked like it was a decent jump, but didn't continue on. Diaz has already thrown out 1 base runner tonight. He threw out Braun. Two-two to Thames now.
This might be where VR might think about taking off. But again, you know, the Pirates might just give him second base.
Well, if he's thrown out, you'd have Thames leading off the next inning. See what they do. Well, you feel like Eric just needs 1 moment with runners in scoring position to get him going, get the confidence back. Inside, almost threw it to the screen. Full count now, and now VR will be running. Anything down a line or in a gap, and the Brewers could get 2 out of this. Thames would like to hit 1 in the river. Full count. VR takes off. Thames strikes out, and the inning is over. Brewers strand 2. Still 1-0. How many shutout innings can they keep going here in Pittsburgh? 1-0 the Brewers lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Well, leading into October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Fox Sports supports. He is proud to team up with the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. We support their vision of creating a world in which domestic violence is not tolerated, where victims and survivors are supported and empowered. Find out how you can join the conversation with us by visiting foxsportssupports.com. Manny Pena will enter the game behind the plate with the Brewers up 1-0. Strong arm catcher. On the mound rock, it is Anthony Swarzak as we play in the 7th inning. The Brewers still with 9 outs to get.
Yeah, we saw him last night. He threw 12 pitches to get through the 8th inning. And before last night, he had a couple of days off. You might see Greg Counsell try to finish this game with 2 guys, Swarzak, Knebel. He might try to get more than 1 inning out of both of them.
Swarzak last night threw 12 pitches, setting up Corey Knebel for the save. Had 2 days off prior to that. He's got Jordy Mercer to start it. Mercer, Diaz, and Max Moroff, 6, 7, and 8 in the Pirate batting order. I would imagine Josh Hader not available today after his multi-inning outing yesterday. On the ground to short, right to Arcia. Out number 1 for Swarzak.
Swarzak's had a terrific slider as of late. Well, really his first couple of outings, his slider was a little bit flat. Really didn't have good command of it, but since that time, good stuff with the breaking ball, throwing hard. 96, 97 with the fastball.
Can't do any better than that in September. Bullpen has been lights out. Last 10 games, bullpen ERA of 0.86. And they're going to need another big effort tonight. Brewers aren't scoring much. Only run on the board is a Domingo Santana solo homer in the 4th inning. Diaz fouls it back. 0-2 the count.
Look at the location of those fastballs. I mean, perfect. Right on the outside corner. Not much you're going to do with those.
Diaz, he is 0 for 2. Hit one hard last time up. He lined out to second. Swarzak struck him out. Slider from Anthony. And 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th inning. Well, that is textbook pitching by Swarzak.
Dot the corner with 2 fastballs and then get him on the wipeout slider off the plate. Now you can just see this coming, but even if you're looking for it, you might be able to take it, but you're not going to do much with it.
5 pitches to get 2 outs. Well, this would really open the door for Counsell to use Swarzak for a multi-inning outing if he can get Moroff here quickly. And Moroff takes a strike. Swarzak's thrown 6 pitches, 5 of them for strikes. Moroff had a single his last time up. That was a 2-out hit. Did it go? Yes, he did. 0-2 the count on Moroff. Swarzak from the wind. 0-2 pitch is down and away.
That's not where Manny wanted it. Manny Pena behind home plate now. Wanted that pitch up in his zone, and Swarzak threw him a 2-seamer.
It's always the question with Swarzak, what does he have against left-handers? His slider's good enough that he'll use it against lefties. See what he does. 1-2. And more off. Sends one to center field. Back is Phillips. He's under it. And that's the inning. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Anthony Swarzak. 9 pitches, 7 of them for strikes. Filling in for us tonight, Jeff Grayson is away, and we want to wish our buddy Jeff and his bride happy anniversary.
Yeah, it's a good reason to take off.
Sure.
Actually. I mean, if there is a good reason to take off.
I mean, we both worked on our anniversaries, but nonetheless, happy anniversary, Jeff.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Glad to have Tom with us tonight. We head to the Brewer half of the 8th. New pitcher is Edgar Santana.
Maybe saw him last night. Scoreless inning for the Pirates. Walked the batter. Also had a strikeout. Yeah, throws pretty hard. Young fastball slider.
Neil Walker leads off. He'll be followed by Braun, then Shaw. Cubs have a 2-1 lead over the Rays in the 9th inning. Cubs are batting in the 9th. That inning just started. So while the Cubs protect a 1-run lead, the Brewers are doing the same here in Pittsburgh. Brewers are down 3.5 to the Cubs in the standings. Cubs are trying to win their 7th straight. Matter of fact, they have not lost a game since the Brewers swept them at Wrigley. They won the next 6 on their homestand. Walker takes one right down the middle. 3-1 now to Neil Walker. 0 for 3 tonight. And that one's on the ground to second. Big hop for Frazier. Walker is out, number 1. Here comes Braun. Braun at the plate tonight, presented by Wendy's. Walked in the 1st, singled in the 6th. Has one of the 4 Brewer hits. Brewers bullpen is quiet for now. That means Swarzak is coming back out. A 9-pitch, 3 up, 3 down, 7th inning for Swarzak. Pirates will have 9, 1, and 2 coming up in their batting order. There've been so many low-scoring games here in Pittsburgh. Even the series the Brewers were swept in 4 games. They were all low-scoring games. And the Brewers had leads in each of the 4 in that series.
They just couldn't come up with that big hit to put the game away or to jump back in it.
Braun lines one to left, a base hit. And a 1-out single for Ryan Braun. 2 more hits tonight for Braun.
Yeah, he's gotten hot at just the right time, and when he gets hot, everybody knows that he can put you on his back. There's a breaking pitch, a slider, middle in, and Ryan, who stands off that plate a little bit, able to hammer it in the left. Couple of hits, one to center, now one to left.
Puts a man on with 1 away. Travis Shaw coming up. Shaw is 0 for 3. Travis had 2 hits last night. Big swing and a big fastball, and it goes to 1-1 on Shaw.
I guess you'd have to say these days, you know, a guy throwing 95, that's your average fastball these days. Used to be, you know, 91 to 94 average fastball. That's actually under average these days.
The velocities, they measure velocity differently now as well. It comes out of the hand. It's always been a debate. Matter of fact, they went back and recreated the Nolan Ryan fastball, which was the fastest clocked. That was in Anaheim one year. Threw it 108 miles an hour. Shaw on the ground. Pirates have a chance to turn 2, and that's the inning. So the Brewers come up empty in the 8th. Bottom of the 8th coming up 1-0 Brew Crew. gets going in Major League Baseball. We're looking at that record, say, oh, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night. Of course it's tonight. And the West Coast games haven't even started yet. Well, Swarzak is back out there. This is going to be some kind of effort if he can get through this 8th inning. Pitched a 3-up, 3-down 7th. He threw 9 pitches. And he has Chris Bostic leading off, the pinch hitter for the Pirates.
Well, he has thrown 2 innings this year. He's done it 4 times, all with the White Sox. Has not done it yet with the Brewers.
Bostic, a chopper. Swarzak. And Bostic is safe. Right off the top of the plate. And a lead man on for the Pirates.
That little number, and Swarzak able to get there. Had some funny English on it. Took him a while to pick it up. And Bostic in with a base hit. This guy can run a little bit, Bostic. A little different situation with Manny Pena behind home plate, though.
Now, Pena came in last inning. A very good thrower. Swarzak trying to pitch 2 innings. 2 innings or more for the 5th time this year. He has not been asked to do it as a Brewer until tonight. Last 2-inning outing was as a member of the White Sox against the Mariners. That was back on July 15th. He was a trade deadline deal at the end of July. He's got a good hitter at the plate, Frazier. Brewers look to turn 2, and that one's in the dirt.
Corey Knebel now starting to get loose. Perhaps any sign of trouble, you might see Knebel come in the game. Not in any hurry, though.
Pirates are getting into their best part of the order. Leadoff man up here in Frazier, who has a single tonight. Marte next, then McCutchen. "31-year-old Anthony Swarzak. What a pickup he's been for the Brewers. Some shrewd moves by David Stearns. They are all contributing in a major way. Vogt, Swarzak, Jeremy Jeffress, Neil Walker. Swarzak straightens him up. 2-2 the count.
And really, with any and all the deals, they really didn't give up a whole lot of the future down in the minor leagues. Well, Ryan Cordell was traded for Swarzak, but other than that, didn't give up a whole lot.
2-2. In the air to left, right at Braun. Bostic will retreat, and the first out of the inning for Swarzak.
That's a big out. That Frazier's a tough out. He doesn't strike out much. He puts the ball in play. A pesky hitter.
I was talking to Craig Counsell before the game, and he felt like at this moment Frazier might be the toughest out in their lineup.
Yeah. Now that Josh Harrison's on the disabled list.
McCutchen's always the threat, but as you mentioned, Frazier he puts the ball in play, does not strike out very much. So a big out for Swarzak. That's his 4th out recorded. And now Starling Marte coming back tonight after a shoulder injury, shoulder and finger injury. And that one's in the air to right. Playable. Santana is there. 2 outs in the inning. And now Swarzak is an out away from getting through this 8th.
That first pitch slider getting Marte on a lazy fly ball to right.
Well, mano a mano here. biggest threat the Pirates have against the Brewers setup man. Meanwhile, in St. Pete, the Cubs and the Rays have gone to the bottom of the ninth. Wade Davis is on to try to save it for Chicago. He is perfect this year, by the way, 31 for 31 in save opportunities. Full on scoreboard watching this time of the year.
So he's due to blow one.
That's a good point. Game's not that easy, is it? Bostic at first, 2 outs in the inning. And McCutchen lifts one in the air to shallow right. Santana is there, and Anthony Swarzak. 6 big outs for the Brewers out of the pen. First time as a Brewer he's gone 2 innings. A lot of effort. That 1-run lead. Anthony Swarzak, very impressive tonight. Got a huge response in that Brewers dugout as he came in. Bunch of high fives. Great effort from the Brewers setup man. We go to the ninth. Our Badger Mutual Insurance play of the game. None other than Domingo Santana. His home run, the only tally on the board. Solo shot for Santana in the 4th. And is that going to be enough to win this one tonight? Brewers need some insurance. And Santana. And the Brewers coming up in this 9th inning. George Contos is the new Pirate pitcher. Saw him yesterday as well in a close game.
They gave up a run on 3 hits, did Contos. Brewers could use a little insurance here in this 9th inning.
Santana, Pena, and Arcia coming up. Contos, a fastball slider pitcher as well, very similar to Swarzak. And that one is scalded into left field. Boy, he hung one, and Santana did not miss. 2 more hits tonight for Domingo Santana. Lead base runner for the Brewers here in this 9th inning.
Yeah, Brewers had 3 consecutive hits in the 8th inning last night against Contos to score a run. Slatter just spinning up there, and he rips it into left.
What a swing. Powerful hack. Santana's going to be lifted for a pinch runner. Quentin Barry will run for the Brewers. The base running specialist that the Brewers called up.
The second time we've seen him in a game, both times as a pinch runner.
Here's Manny Pena. thing about Barry, this is a guy who has been a part of postseason teams specifically to steal bases, go first to third, situations just like this. Been in the postseason with the Tigers, with the Red Sox, and a World Series with the Red Sox. He's only been caught one time in his career attempting a steal. 27 stolen bases in 28 tries.
This would be a good test for him. Diaz with a very good throwing arm. Contos looks like he's really trying his best to keep him close.
Barry got released by the Twins in May, signed with Colorado Springs, only played 9 games at AAA, but the Brewers bringing him up to the big leagues to run the bases, and Pena trying to get him on the move. Manny's first at bat. One ball, one strike. There he goes. Inside throw to second, and Barry is in there. A stolen base for Quentin Barry.
Man, he can fly. I mean, he gets to full speed very quickly. And the only question is, as fast as he is, he's going to fly right over second base. A late slide. There he goes, able to keep the foot on the bag.
That's easy speed right there, isn't it?
That's a sprinter's stride right there.
It's a great weapon to have for the Brewers. So his first steal in the majors this year, now 28 for 29 in his career in stolen base attempts. He's in scoring position. I love the reaction by the bench as well. Everybody's loud, cheering him on. I mean, he's got to feel great about that. Coming to a ball club like this, you've only been in the organization for a little bit, just 9 games in AAA, and here you are in a pennant race in the big leagues as one of the guys. Pena trying to cash him in.
Yeah, the nucleus of this team has done a very good job making newcomers feel like they're a part of things. Every Brewer is out on that railing.
Cubs have won tonight. They just beat the Tampa Bay Rays 2-1 final. And the Cubs turning Tropicana Field into Wrigley Field East. There must be 25,000 Cubs fans at Tropicana Field tonight. It is packed full of Cubs fans.
That's the way it is everywhere they go, isn't it? Pretty much.
Well, Joe Maddon's return to Tropicana Field, first game victory for him. So the Brewers need a win to keep pace. Cubs have won 7 in a row now. Pena takes a ball inside. 2 on now. Nobody out, and Arcia coming up.
See if Arcia is up there to bunt. Would not be surprised to see a bunt here. Second and third, you have Phillips coming up.
Arcia has been on twice. Singled to center in the second inning, then he walked in the 7th. Two on, nobody out. Corner infielders coming in for the Pirates. They expect a bunt. And Arcia bunts it, a good one. Bell will make the play to first. And a sacrifice bunt puts 2 in scoring position. When 1 run could make a huge difference in this game, the Brewers play a little small ball.
And don't think Craig Counsell might try and squeeze here. Got number 8 hitter coming up.
Brett Phillips digs in. Infield is in for the Pirates. A base hit should score 2. Pena will get as much lead as he wants at second base. It was a squeeze, but it was a safety squeeze, and Phillips able to take the ball.
Yeah, with Barry's speed, it doesn't have to be a very good bunt for him to score. All he has to do is get a decent jump.
Contos deals. Phillips not showing bunt this time. Takes a strike. Backdoor slider. 1-1 to count. Taking signs from Ed Cedar. Barry ready to run. Not a lot of room behind home plate if one gets away from the catcher. Keep in mind. And he shows bunt. Bunts it foul. Ball and 2 strikes. On a night when we set a new major league record for home runs in a season, the Brewers have gone small ball, trying to manufacture one here in the 9th inning.
They're trying to bunt a run in, but the only run of the game is a home run.
That's right. There's still a place for small ball in the game, but it takes spots like this. See what Phillips does. 1-2 the count. And he takes a ball low. That one just missed.
Yeah, good eye right there.
So young kid looking for his big moment in a pennant race. Spent most of the year at AAA. 2-2 the count. 2 on, 1 out, and Phillips strikes out. Out number 2.
Put a little wrinkle in that one down out of the strike zone. And then Phillips out in front of it. There you see it, out of the zone at 89 miles an hour.
Second out is a big one for Contos. And now Counsell is going to go to his bench. Had Aguilar out. Now he's going to pull him back. He's going to go with Sogard now. Sure, he wants to get Sogard in the game defensively. He's a pretty good bet here at the plate. Left-hander with that slider pitcher on the mound in Contos.
Pretty good contact hitter. Craig Counsell looking for somebody to put the ball in play in this spot.
Eric Sogard, 2 outs, 2 on. Brewers put the first 2 on. A single and a walk. Strike. That's Contos' best pitch. He's been throwing that slider for a long time. He trusts it. He had some good years with the Giants in their contending years. One and one to count. We were in San Francisco when Contos was acquired by the Pirates. Technically, he was selected off waivers. Giants are looking to make a move with Contos, 32-year-old right-hander. One and one to Sogard. That missed.
Yeah, good eye off the corner.
2-1.
Sogard uses left field extremely well. They continue to pound him away. And he's got that big hole between third and short. And then Moroff playing in with the bag. Respecting the bunt.
Barry's the runner at third. Pena the runner at second. Brewers trying to add to a 1-0 lead. They've had some opportunities here in the late innings. Have not been able to push across those insurance runs. 2-1 to Sogard, and it's in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike.
Looks as though Contos is trying to get Sogard to chase. Really hadn't thrown a whole lot over the plate. First pitch, that was it. Got first base open. Sogard not a guy that strikes out much.
He's got himself in a hitter's count. Contos deals. Sogard takes a strike just on the edge. That could have gone either way.
Another breaking pitch.
Full count now. They have posted the final score of the Cubs-Rays game here, so the Brewers know they need a win to keep pace. Clinging to a 1-0 lead in the 9th. Do it again. 3-2. 2nd and 3rd. Sogard off the end of the bat. Little pop up. Mercer is there, and the inning is over. And the Brewers will head to the bottom of the 9th, up 1-0. The all-star closer walking a fine line tonight. Baseball tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Only one across the pay station tonight. Domingo Santana's home run in the 4th is it. Can the Brewers win a 1-0 game tonight? Corey Knebel will try to nail it down. Sogard does stay in. He'll play second base. Walker is out. And Counsell has Keon Broxton in the game as well. The former Pirate will play center field. So the Brewers tighten up defensively. And Corey Knebel is on to try to finish this one off, partner.
Well, they finished it off last night here against the Pirates. 36 for Corey last night. He pitched a scoreless 9th inning, a couple of strikeouts. Has converted each of his last 20 save opportunities.
With Broxton in center, moves Phillips to right. Josh Bell at the plate. First pitch is in there for a strike. Always good to see that first curveball land for a strike.
Had a good one last night after a 5-day layoff.
Anthony Swarzak retired 6 in a row, 2 scoreless innings, the 7th and the 8th. First time as a Brewer he's gone 2 innings. The Brewers have won 1-0 win this year
Against the Nats.
0-2 to Bell. Pittsburgh's cleanup hitter. And Knebel strikes him out with a high fastball. 98-mile-an-hour heat. 1 away in the 9th. Don't forget, we'll do it again tomorrow night. Brewers Pirates. Same time, 5:30 air time. First pitch 6:05. Aaron Wilkerson will be making his first ever major league start. Well, you got to be wondering what's going through his mind and his belly right now.
Yeah, he's thinking, I hope I get more runs than one.
Stephen Broad will pitch for Pittsburgh. He pitched very well against the Brewers in Milwaukee. Polanco takes a strike. 99 with that fastball.
Might have got a call right there. Little bit off the corner, not much.
Polanco has big power. Curveball swung on and missed. Missed it by a mile. 0-2 the count. Chase Anderson started. He went 6 scoreless. Anderson struck out 8. Brewers have 10 punch outs tonight as a staff. And Polanco dribbles one over to second base. Sogard is there. 2 outs. Knebel and out away from securing a 1-0 win. And it'll be Jordy Mercer as the last hope for the Pirates. He's got a career high in homers this year. Is 1 for 3 tonight. And he buckled his knees with a curveball. Strike 1.
Yeah, when he throws that over for strikes like that, I mean, you're not sure what you're going to get after that first pitch curveball.
Knebel got the save last night. Curveball fouled off. 0-2 the count on Mercer. Brewers shut out the Pirates last night 3-0. Pittsburgh has not scored a run in the last 18 innings. Knebel trying to make it 19 in a row. He's a strike away. 0-2 pitch. Fouled away. Knebel is as good as he's been right now. 9 pitches, 9 strikes, fastballs and curveballs.
Yeah, including 3 curveballs. Yep.
Pirates had 2 on with nobody out in the 6th inning. And then the Brewers started on this run. 0-2 pitch. Got him! He struck him out to end the game. And the Brewers win it 1-0. Wow. Brewer pitching retires the last 12 in a row to finish this one off. Boy, that was something special.
Man, I'll tell you, this pitching staff, this is something special that you're watching right now. Chase Anderson, yet another win. He's won 3 games now in 10 days. Amazing for Chase. And then you got Swarzak, Knebel. We talked about that bullpen, you know, before the game today, and these guys have been unbelievable.
Anderson goes to 11-3. Corey Knebel picks up another save, just continues to impress. 37th save of the year. Santana with the home run. That's all the Brewers would need tonight. Welcome to the family, Tom Hanneman. That was a good one for you to watch. Brewers Live coming up. Send it to Tom now.